I'm gonna go ahead and keep it 100 with you guys. This is the first Dragon Ball fan manga that I've seen that not only shows adult Marin, but also shows adult Marin training with Android 18 or training in general. The sky's the limit with Marin and people are sleeping on her, but let's go ahead and jump into the story because this one is such a mystery.
Prepare yourself, Dan Saiyan.
This video is sponsored by Surfshark. Thanksgiving leftovers are gone, Christmas cards have been sent, kids of all ages are waiting to meet Santa Claus in an hour-long line where Santa Claus more than likely will be behind plastic glass. 'Tis the season to finally binge some Christmas movies and TV shows and enjoy your holiday classics, your holiday favorites in the comfort of your own living room. But unfortunately, not every area has access to every single Christmas movie that you would like to watch. That's where the sponsor of today's video comes in, Surfshark, a VPN that unlocks the 15 largest Netflix country libraries, connecting you to their servers with a click of a button, unlocking all this content on all your platforms, computers, phones, smart TVs, and more, while also securing your data with industry-leading measures by using uncrackable encryption with the most secure VPN protocols so nobody catches you in 4K. Get Surfshark VPN with the link in the description below and the top comments and enter the code BLACKSCAPE to achieve a limited time offer of 83% off and 4 extra months for free. Don't wait now to watch Dragon Ball on Netflix. Trust me, it is the superior streaming experience. I recommend it highly. What is up guys, Blackscape here, and today's brand new Dragon Ball fan manga comes to us from Trunks777 on DeviantArt. I'm gonna leave a link to his DeviantArt page in the description below in the top comment. Make sure to go ahead and check it out guys and support the original creator of this. It is called Dragon Ball The Ultimate Challenger and tells the story of Vegeta and Piccolo after Dragon Ball Z. So let's go ahead and jump right in guys and see exactly where this story takes us and what's in store for us next. Destined to be enemies, later friends through innumerable adventures and battles over the years, as we see Goku face off against Frieza, Gohan face off against Cell, Goku again against Kid Buu, then Goku against Ooh. But the original panel with Vegeta, Piccolo, and Tien sets the mood for this story. This is a story of the villains of past, of yesteryear, that decided to go to the light side. You have Tien, Piccolo, and Vegeta, all evil villains at one point, all heroes of Earth in another. In the year 787, Vegeta floats above planet Earth asking one question: who the hell are you and what are you doing on Earth? Damn, this doesn't concern you, Piccolo, as Vegeta looks on to see Kakarot just floating there, doing nothing. But yet Vegeta realizes that this is not Kakarot. But in the blink of an eye, Goku flies right past Vegeta as Vegeta barely has time to put up his dukes, and we see an unknown figure laugh in the distance. Enough, I'm tired of your stupidity. I'm not interested in your stories. Leave this planet before I send you to hell, Vegeta exclaims. I didn't think there were such powerful Earthlings on this planet, but you still aren't anything special. I'm no Earthling. I am a Saiyan. A Saiyan? I'm your god. And that is where everything goes black. Vegeta wakes up out of his bed and he has had this dream again, but he doesn't know what it means, but yet has a bad feeling about it, as Bulma confirms that he's had these dreams quite frequently. Next day, Vegeta's extra pumped to get into the gym and work out, trying to get as powerful as he can, and yet realizing at the end of it all that he has become stronger, but he is nowhere near even close to where Kakarot was before he left. But this won't deter him. He will not stay at this power level for his entire life. He is ready to move beyond. As he begins to leave the gravity chamber, his daughter comes on screen and asks him if he wants to come eat or does he want us to spend the whole day training, to which Vegeta says that she should train more because at her age he was conquering planets, but she says that she's got better things to do and Vegeta doesn't even work, so what's he doing all day? To which Vegeta says, you shouldn't waste your time on things that aren't training. That's like the best response. Someone says, yeah, you're not even working. You don't work all day. What do you do? He's like, there's no other thing that you should be doing besides training, honing your skills, getting stronger. I'm sure that he's had this talk with Bulma before. Bulma's rich, so he doesn't really have to work, but I still think this is funny. But this is not a sufficient answer for her as she yells, I am not a brute who spends the whole day training like you. Don't say I didn't call you to eat. And Vegeta realizes at that moment that his daughter's a little scarier than Bulma sometimes, and that's not a good thing. Piccolo floats there as he looks deep within himself, only to be attacked by yet another Piccolo. But this attack is easily swatted away, but before the imposter Piccolo can even think, normal, regular, original Piccolo is right behind him. But wait, this was a trap, and another Piccolo has jumped up right behind him because he knows all his moves, and as you can see right here, Piccolo is outnumbered. The attacks are furious as OG Piccolo could barely block each one coming in with an elbow, another one coming in with a kick, and all of them are extremely powerful, leaving Piccolo to barely be able to withstand it as he gets kicked in the back, and then another Piccolo shoots a barrage, one of my favorite attacks in Budokai Tenkaichi, and hits every direction where Piccolo could have landed. The clones pleased with themselves, Piccolo gets back up in no time and they have to come back in again, punching, kicking Piccolo until it's time to finish him off with a special beam cannon. As it fires, Piccolo actually yells what its proper name is, and that is Mankanko Sapo, and this is something that Piccolo actually is able to blow up before it actually reaches him. But because he was focused on one Piccolo, the other one came in stacked and decided to punch him in the face. Pan looks on in horror as she thinks that Piccolo, or original Piccolo, is going to lose, but Gohan reassures her of course not. The Piccolo of now has faced two copies of how he was in the past. You need not worry. Besides, I'm sure that this isn't all of his power, as Gohan is looking onward at his master in hopeful reassurance, but honestly, this is Piccolo's limit. Piccolo's all beat up here, and he says that these guys are quick. He needs to take off his training gi because that way he can get as fast as them, because right now he is outpaced. And he does so in quick succession, taking one of them out, realizing that it is time to finally end this. These guys have given Piccolo a run for his money, and actually I just realized now that in these artworks right now of Piccolo, this art of Piccolo, it's actually kind of rare because not a lot of people know this, but in this artwork Piccolo has 4 fingers, and a lot of the time, even in the anime, they have him with 5, so I like that little attention to detail. Cutting one in half and destroying him, the other one gets elbowed right in the face and blasted into oblivion as Pan looks on, happy to see her uncle Piccolo still alive. Piccolo lands and Gohan gives him a pat on the back that he's become stronger than he was before, and he's excited for him, but Piccolo says, yeah, with not a reassuring tone, actually seeming kind of exhausted, and continues with, thank you for lending me some of your energy for the clones. So from what I remember, if Piccolo splits up himself in different clones, each one, it's like almost Naruto rules, at least if I'm not right, let me know, but I'm sure it's like Naruto rules where some of his ki actually goes into those other clones. I think it was the same thing for Cell, which has cells from Piccolo, and so I'm assuming that instead of doing that, he used Gohan's ki to power up those clones, that way he can fight them at full power, and that's probably why he had Gohan there. At least that's what I'm thinking. So as Gohan and Pan take their leave, Piccolo looks at them flying off in the distance and then thinks back, I've been training so hard since Goku left and I've made great progress with no problem. But he doesn't sound reassured by this mantra as Gohan and Pan have a conversation of Piccolo's strength because the clones were actually Piccolo 3 years ago, and Pan actually is really happy to see that Piccolo destroyed them without really taking much injury to himself and not really using full power. And Gohan says it's true, but he still needs to do a lot more training to catch up to Vegeta and Grandpa Goku. It will be difficult, but if he trains a lot, he will get there, and Pan is reassured by this as Piccolo looks up to the sky and asks himself, where is Goku? And that is when he hears a devilish voice behind him. Listen, Namekian, if you interfere in our plans, you will regret it. As Piccolo looks on to this intruder in shock with some knowing of who he is, but then it cuts to Piccolo landing on his knee, physically weak, falling over himself, and asking himself what kind of demon was this, as he thinks on to that moment. And you can see here that Vegeta has lost an arm, and there is an unknown assailant saying not to provoke them because they are powerful and Vegeta is not. It seems like Piccolo has had some sort of premonition similar to Vegeta. This new visitor, who looks entirely like a mix of Frieza, Hit, and Gohan, even the tracksuit is on point, is seen here hovering over the world as we jump into chapter 2. And Piccolo believes that this excessive training has really gotten to him, and he has been having delusions or maybe hallucinations of things that have yet to happen. But he needs to speak to Vegeta, and he needs to speak to Vegeta at once. Hours go by, Vegeta still training, not really working, not finding a job, not being a useful member to society, is surprised by Piccolo, who he treats without any respect whatsoever. Piccolo needs to speak to Vegeta privately, but Vegeta isn't interested until he thinks, wait a minute, maybe Piccolo knows where Goku is and he will tell me. Vegeta says, very well, I will meet you east of West City. This better be worth it. I'll be waiting, Vegeta. Meanwhile, in space, and the way this is explained is kind of interesting. It says, meanwhile in the space, something I know slowly approached to the Earth. So I don't know who is, like, the narrator knows the story. I think the creator, Trunks777, he's telling the story, he's narrating the story like he already knows what's going on, which he definitely does because he's the one making the story, but I like the way it's being narrated. And we see that we finally get a good look at the villain in this dream, in this hallucination, and he is talking to one of his subordinates, asking if they've been detected, but nothing has come up from that planet. And he wants the exploration and analyzing of this planet to happen right away, because he's looking for the two great powers that were there years ago. As you can see here, Super Vegito and Buhan, the strongest warriors, as we've come to know recently, especially with Buhan, of Dragon Ball Z. He wants to know where they are, and he wants to analyze the Earth for their remains to see if they're still there. As we go back to Earth, and things seem to be normal, Goten playing video games, not training, Pan training, not playing video games, and Gohan taking care of a brand new baby. So time has gone by as we see Vegeta's training in the gravity chamber and his daughter struggling to stay up with the gravity itself being so high. Trunks sleeping at his job, not training either, as we see the panel that I told you guys about at the beginning of this video, which was my favorite one. We see Marin facing off against 18, as we see Krillin and 17 looking on in harmony. Krillin is happy to where their life is right now. He's happy with it where his daughter is right now. And honestly, I love this. This is awesome. I would love to see Marin take a prominent role in Dragon Ball in general. I mean, people forget about her a lot, but not only is she the daughter of the strongest Earthling on the planet right now, but she's also the daughter of 18, who is an android. And if anything gets passed down to 18 from both the power level of the android and the potential of an android, as we see with 17, and the optimism and earthlingness of Krillin, then she's going to be a strong fighter in her own right. I definitely see a bright future, just another version of 18, but an earthling one. I definitely like this panel a lot. Who knows how much time has passed at this point, but Vegeta finally meets up with Piccolo, and before Piccolo even begins to talk, Vegeta says, I want you to tell me something. Do you know where Kakarot is? And Piccolo says, no, I don't. The last time I saw him, he left with Oob. So it's not the end of Dragon Ball GT where Goku leaves with the dragon. It is the beginning of Dragon Ball GT. It's almost like a different version of Dragon Ball GT, with Goku leaving with Oob and nobody knowing where he is. A lot of these Dragon Ball fan mangas need a way to get Goku out of there, and this is honestly a very natural way of doing things because it's already been set up in Dragon Ball Z. But Vegeta is upset that Piccolo doesn't know, and he's thinking he wasted his time. As he leaves, Piccolo actually asks him the question he's been burning to ask him, which is asking him to become a training partner. With them separately, they can only get so strong, but together, they can become even more powerful if they train together. But Vegeta thinks this is ludicrous, because if they train together, really the only benefit goes to Piccolo, because Piccolo is a lot weaker than Vegeta. Vegeta would not get stronger in the slightest, and he'd be wasting his time. And so, this has just, again, been a waste of time for Vegeta in all sense of the word. He does not want to train with Piccolo. He doesn't train with anybody usually, but he's not one to train with Piccolo. He thinks that Piccolo would be better served training with Gohan. But as we all know, Gohan has stopped training long ago, at least in this timeline, and Piccolo really wants Vegeta to help him. Vegeta responds that if you find out where Kakarot has gone, I will train with you. I will give you 3 days to find him, but if you don't, forget about the idea. And as Vegeta leaves, he says some heavy shit, telling Piccolo that you've gotten strong for a Namekian, but you will never be equal to a Saiyan, which I'm hoping now in this Dragon Ball fan manga that Piccolo does become strong, or as strong as a Saiyan. I mean, he has become stronger than a Saiyan in the past when he merged with Kami, so Vegeta's not accurate here. Piccolo could absorb all the other Namekians, or at least some strong ones, and become more powerful than a Saiyan in that way. The intruder has finally arrived on planet Earth, and he wants to go down personally to visit the planet on his own, so he prepares his ship and goes toward the atmosphere. And this is the start of the story for the Ultimate Warrior. We finally get the main antagonist on the Earth, but hopefully they explain why Piccolo's having hallucinations of him and Vegeta is having dreams about him. The days passed as the intruder searches and analyzes the Earth, trying to find the greatest warriors, and Piccolo asks Dende where Goku is, but Dende cannot find him. And so the intruder is actually very upset because he has come late, extremely late. 3 years is a long time. So he's come extremely late now to the party, and nobody's here that is strong. So he thinks he will just take the planet as a comfort because he wasted his whole time coming here. When the 3 days are up, Piccolo comes to Vegeta empty-handed. He has not found Goku, but as they begin to talk and Vegeta becomes disappointed, their conversation is cut short by the intruder and his craft. Vegeta remarks that this guy doesn't seem to be very strong, and the fact that he's riding a spaceship proves that point. The intruder loves the planet, loves Earth, and has a better outlook on it than Mega Frieza did when he first got there, so he's excited to have the planet all to himself, but he does want to see if there's any strong power levels there that can confront him. He wants to send more probes to try to find different types of power levels, but at that point, that is where Vegeta and Piccolo begin to trail him and intercept the intruder. And when they catch up to him, the intruder says, and he greets them with "Hello Earthlings," until he realizes that there is a Namekian, and he actually has a lot of information about Namekians. He believed that the Namekians became extinct because of the cataclysm that happened to their climate, and he's surprised to see one here that he can survive on this planet with the climate being completely different than where he was originally born. But Piccolo's done with this shit, and he is done with answering questions, even though he didn't answer any, and wants to ask questions of his own. And that's when Vegeta cuts in and asks him to stop analyzing the planet, stop checking everybody out, check out their power levels, because Vegeta seemed to be on the up and up as to what this guy was behind, and tells him he needs to cut that out and ask him why he is doing that. And that is where this Dragon Ball fan manga ends. It looks like this chapter is not finished, but if you guys go ahead and bookmark the DeviantArt page, you will have access to the actual Dragon Ball fan manga itself and could stay caught up to it on its own. As long as there are more chapters to be made, I will be covering this, but that is the end of this right now. Let me know in the comments below what you guys thought of this story. Does it have promise? Do you guys like it? Let me know in the comment section below. This is going to be Blackscape signing off. Take care, guys.
Subscribe for more content.